So as part of the school college curriculum, I trained in Ahmedabad. After that, I actually went to Graz in Austria, and I worked there for about 4 months. After that, I kind of traveled a little bit in Europe, and then immediately after that, I actually joined Kapadia Associates, and that was way back 16 years back in 2000. So you can say that I have kind of grown and brought up in the firm. So when we started off, basically when I joined, basically we were about 15, 18 people. So the company's grown quite a bit beyond that. At that point of time, we were just a bunch of people. So we had to do a lot different kinds of work. We had to put in a lot of effort in terms of the works because we're playing different roles. We were doing at one point we were conceptualizing, we were designing, we were at that point of time also doing the drawings that were required, addressing site concerns, doing BOQs, doing specifications. So in terms of an effort, we had to put in a lot more effort than what people do now in that sense, or rather I would do now in that sense, where the roles are a little more defined. Uh, Having said that, because we are a bunch of smaller kind of a bunch, we had a great time in office. I mean, I made the best of friends at that point of time. So coming to office was fun, and I remember missing office on weekends. You know that I used to on weekends abhi kya karne ka, all my friends are in office, kind of a situation. So there were times like that also. So that's from that onwards basically is where the company's kind of grown. So one good thing that has happened is that the approach towards a project, what we deal with on projects, comes very easily now, because it's kind of ingrained in the culture, in my psyche in that sense. So that's the easier part of things. So what are the issues to be aware of while we are working on projects? What are the issues to address comes easily. Some details and some standards are, you don't have to think about those. So that's what kind of helps the entire thing kind of the process. It eases the process, so to say, as we go along, so that we can then focus on uh, the other aspects of things, basically larger aspects of the project. Having said that, I have to consciously kind of be prepared that that we are not falling back on things that we have already done, and lose the experimental aspect of projects. So I have to continuously kind of tell myself that this is something that we did, but now let's try and work out something else, basically. So that is a challenge in that sense, because it's easier to fall back on the tried and tested options in that, so to say. But I'm kind of conscious about it, and we all at the organization are aware of it in that sense. So we do try and kind of tell ourselves to kind of uh, move away from the tried and tested and be a lot more experimental on project.